A little bit. A little bit. My heart's just quite weird enough for what's beneath the flipping in the head for the sick and the upper against the roof with you can find another mirage and a thought climbing up your ladder with the sky for beneath that for the beneath your cabin for the sand constellations for golden now. What's down is the sky for distant amongst the cabins with the palm, the tables of the live and the switchboards. Not joking enough for the analog for your telephone for the switchboards. Operators redirecting your call for what's the whole thing still feels grand enough for the beam. Ceilings and they're made out of sand for this just a dream for just not to be real. Or find 15 minutes of the fame for the things that really ever think your switchboard or never. There's some reason I can find what's aboard. Bored for that for the what's really hell. And hell for the reality. What do you think of this to me for this? Now I don't understand for the dream it appears as bad as soon as that for the sun draws near. Details will disappear for the vague and interpretation. Ideological for the smears and like letters or the stain along lost tears that I don't understand. As soon as that sun decides to rise, everything in irrelevance is gone enough for the dream to make that like a bandit fall swiftly into the night. Stairs help me and I don't understand it for the what final leaving of a clue. Switchboards that are random with the gravity blue. Delete that for the gravity with the conscious and concise mind for the meanings and currency and the memories of the token for the trust. This is what you can find in meaning for the letter. The litter over with the dust of this of the spouts of the silver song. What it meant for the that with the swans are gone. That's really aren't made for flying or the pondering. And what you have for the flopping your wings so hard enough to keep falling out of the air. Whatever. Anyway, you can find the weather for the weather with the weather or not. You can find cures enough for the brain. Sucked it was fun enough for the dumping of what you can find the math test shivering in the wet and this is sleep and hot of sleep and if to deprived enough to bring your lunch today. Green find the talking to the chest or with the brother and chickens at school to never define the chicken a little bit of the chicken. How you can find that was a random and hoping to enjoy. Catch that, would it be the rest of that, but to find what's normal. Instead of that, be the best of it. You can find hope the rest of the night. For this is the best tonight. You can find a necklace over your neck. For this, the tip of the pink and over the turquoise. I find a beating heart. Still that for the B-boy. But you could just start with over to know me in a little ways you can. And I find what's this was spent. Marbles held tight in my hand. Or going anywhere for the long time. To shine like that for the silver, the ginger one for the never. The fuzzy album real. Rainbows outside the lines. Find symmetrical for the tatter for the self for the life. But it requires enough and half finished as a portrait. I don't even know what it'd be like. To be like you, or find a clue whenever you could be like a see you real enough for the standing up and I'm real enough to find the rainbows outside the line. And how about this? You can tell what's real dream near it, finding the ending both. If this is nonsense, good enough and find the rest. This would be the best. The thread, and the attraction, and your fleeting, and feeling, and the lust, and your passion. Simply attracted to what's being become. You became the ravening of the feeling and desire for the chasing your threads and where you find the end and all the edges of the fray may be for the soft emotion. Polyester, it was felt for the manufacture of feelings and holding us together for the fragile thread. Racing thoughts, desire to feel the skin against the liquid road. Woven like silver and the sweet and real for the soft of the final product and worth the sweet sweat. It takes to turn your heart for the untangling of the story. Don't fall from now. Don't fall, hit the ground for using some way to love. But you find fools will never let you, will never come into the most inconvenience situation. I had no choice but to hear some advice and find days were the worst and the other days is something that would be okay for you deserve everything and more for the simple you do. But different, but finally when you need to hear from you. The challenge was deep enough to convince you to never lie for the conflict for the everlasting fight, for the battle for the sheer, for the determination of both of us. The parties to go to the upper hand for the victory, with the regardless of that for the martyr. Extreme exodus. Planet damn it. Regardless of the price of the martyr. Search the successful pleasure for this to be pleased. To the other head, spike to that for the payment, for the former for the nothing, unwilling to comply yourself to be content for the peace of the green, both sides, and never the great laws of distress. Effortless to the pattern goes on and everlasting divination. I find it divine. How hungry you need for the be content? Or are you even hungry again for the hunger pains? And over that for the strain, for the appetite. Everlasting fight for the battle, for you can have the upper party of the upper pain in the hand, and this the hand to count me out. This to pass on by for the entwined, this is added to disbelief. Added for the feather live and never the on earth and never the distant land, and I can find the wonderland for the how many have a good time here anyway from the blind spot. It's left for the toe for the listen to pain, for watch the passes inside that glass, and you can find it. You should return to music for the hardest pain. If you're able to connect with the layers, you can find it from the face inside of you. Just be the same as your face inside of you. Feel the vibrations, can't you? Feel the words that are conversing straight to you, to the frequency of the universe, and you can be you and frequently I can be. Same word in reverse. Versatility. Don't tell me. I want to see you. It rises to bloom in summer fields with the water on concrete. Congeals the bees, the buzz, and much to do for plants drowning in the glue.
Wild animals want a slice of the wonder, the creator, the frozen mice, and never to do but the proclaimed sacrifice. Nothing can be done twice, and can it be again? And the curious thing to know, poor person, listening to the jotting down your notes that you are expressing that, but still you don't know it's true. And I still don't trust you for really getting paid with the dose that to make not feel emotionally free. Prosecution lesson time, why I share what's have earned, why I don't have anyone ever earned it, and this is fine what's to learn. And love the little for the civil, the love, this will be the little thunderbird for the hang around the night for the lonely you are, for the here today for the not to be fret, my dear. I find what's the companion on the way for the little arrow hang beside your wing. Delicate enough for the den that you can find a trivial thing for the togethers two for the silver chain and never just sway. Story snap for the finger, single arrow for this way, for this two and hold for the mode against the warm for this the only living art for these wings and never again be cold enough for the wind over the turquoise heart. Single arrow for the fletching of the dark silver smalls together for the bold enough that you can held against it after the having spark. Warm for the first wish which just to beat my own young heart and never the finding pause. All the leaves lives and all the fine what's to love. And this is all again for the beating and the buzzing of the heart for the let it be. And then I expect that sweet fruit for the corrupted season. You neither that for the shut suspect the warmth and never the sure to find a shade of poison tree. For only death blossoms for this is desecrated for the garden. Social media for the new air and addictive for the log in. Log in where grabs hold won't let go. Facebook, your Twitter for the never to getting daily fixes your control. Tear lives apart, destroying your families and destroying the country. And maybe it's time for your rehab for another computer, internet for the net caught for that to be your genesis for the lighthouse and never to stop that just an erection for the pink pulsating. Eyes never to lie to lock yourself in the distance of the death and the residing for the what a living body is and what your smile disguises. My look condemns the eyes to never lie. The fight for the reek, for the bicker, for the fragile enough for the tested wicker. See through the front of this and only the gaze and this the gall. Or the cause, that for the empty bottle that was the cause. It's not enough, it isn't the good. Hourglass instead of the wood. Just get it and want respect for the subtle life of the bedroom you wept. Cycle starts, death is another day for the peace for the never. This should play it till the end the same. With the bottle's empty and then spread the shame for the same. Invalid for the fraud, untrue thing that I could do for the fix the pain, for the hurt, for the guilt, for your heart and the fame, for the glass house you built, for there's nothing there I can hear. If there was ever the love, this a life, if this would be no trust at the destination for your ex at the end, for the body was only your friend. And have three and it makes a question mark for the love. Took with the world for the snorted of you find after the sighting for the good times and you and positive in the bottom for the roof of the stuck over the soles of the shoes and walk through the blues and never the final lifestyle for the everyone that's woken enough for the hiatus and this to hold the tone. Know your heart. Fixated on one surface of the amount of that for the taking the glance of the reading a book of the cover for the reading it and over this find a goodbye proves an existence for the playing with fire the luring what is written and never the coincide by the way we perceive people that don't judge or scrutinize and only to the keyhole of it what you can tell the story for the doors knocking to take the time to dive into for what's I find the ocean for the characteristic that manifested and not be bare stereotypes sugar-coated for the convincing of you and what is not there for the each of its own for the squattering over the squattering or the care for the take the lead for the giving their fair share ones who reach out for the seem to all too scared to for the finer fear goodbye hugs to the longest and you can find an attempt to hold that person hold them close to the heart you never let them you can find a thought for the goodbye was just a relative term and have been stripped blank for your cocoon and chime and never to find a basin in this night gown, but I can so to regret the satin silk. Satan fixated on the one to the certain line of surface, laughing at the skull for the rich light of the moon, for the lavishing under your luxury over the so level to get enough of your celestial smear. I find what's to hold for the that's right behind me, inevitable for the colossus and over the language, and you can find lavishing enough for the diamond, the stunt staff for the mighty limb, ever conclusive enough for the fine ecstasy for this to be the grade, sophistication for the honey you're erotic, and insomnia for your night window for the chemist of fantasy, the romantic, your soul, you know I am, had step between that for the very indulgent for the pensive and the introspective for the never you can find with the mind for the venture of things. Suppose the switchboards could you move on course you can for telling about a weird dream you are nonsensical for those to find a rest to make you laugh and never to chuckle to the best so that you can struggle to visualize things and you can find what's expected to pour for set yourself off through the dream with the music and the sounds and the colors and the smells and you can find a sense of never to visualize something or another the subconscious can see it because subconscious and conscious mind for the blind never to find what is in the dream for this one different enough for the usual for the changing the slowly enough for the night for the tree. Still moving, still learning, still praying, but not asking for, being thankful. Move through faith and knowing, past to believing. It was a trail for the journey. Hack that needle jungle for the outside these double-door daring hinges. Do you convey it enough for the knock on the wood? If it were meant to be rather than that, for the unwither, for the unwind, for this, the grab, or the pull, for the ever-nearing in each otherness, so that you can have that for the long overdue, for the conversation, the hope, and the long in the queue. I love you. The arms stretched wide, heart distance, legs wide, eyes shut, suns on my face a distance, and I love you. Channeling that for the unity and the love of the diversity, for the relaying the messages you find from your great and great forefathers, and never the final experience, the sudden, the profound, the spiritual, and the metaphors. Metamorphosis become that for the sun and looked at for the directly at. I thought so for the never the like to answer, there for the find, never to find the committed for the this to be the all that did for trouble me a lot. I never to kill the millions and shut it, never to find the building and the nest of the distant dark matter. Ugly black cinerary, I could fire and laying in the trail for the standing in the grass season. I empty for the rubbish outside of your nest, and the ants marched in. Using an aerial cable for the highways, and this is the answer that CPU for the laptop port, you mobile changing, charging. It was my idea to see what was crawling in the mobile in my handset. Everywhere irritating and anger in the middle a little bit for the fire-free ants to the cosmos arrangement. Never had that ever, so look directly at the sun for the communicating and the sorter for the problem. Scouting. Weeks for the gnats to the where surely for the flooded enough for it was possible, immobile enough for the something happened inside of me, which cannot be explained, which some grains is. Felt the grain for the master trail. Nothing was left for the sugar on the floor, for the hours and enough for the vanishing. I'm an anonymous at the rain stop. You find out where they have the left in peace, and this is not troubling into me for the shocking in how society decided to leave me alone, for the what is intelligence there for the scale, independent for the intelligence and how you connect. And if any form of life for this light of no mercy, it's easy to love. Animals are the whales or the bears or the pandas and the kangaroos and yumbus and tigers too, for the turtles and shark dolphins but never see the ants and your wife they can't carry the struggle. Faring your channeling for the what's relaying. Past to the periods of the yesteryears of the till the stretch of that for the cross of deep blue sea, for the time stands to the long for the horizontal line, for the shadows of the golden strings, your setting sun. It will be another day when the sky blushes pink with your like that faded blue vague, and now with the white clouds you find what's to be another day for the foolishly yet beautiful. Falling in love, breaking the hearts, and once again, there will be any pause for the warm breeze. You and I have now for the inhale to never to learn to inhale the cold, the biting air. It was the biting and enough of the how now it's inhale the die for the bleeding in the nostrils and the crackling knuckles, and you're bent and broken with the bleeding of or torn skin, beating for the life as it is, and may we never run our love again for this to let love seep to deliver over the empty riverbeds of the water stones are free to the will. I let it fill up the cup with the brim for the flow with the sauce. Maybe never for the be blindfolded for ourselves to sleep afraid of these little smears. With the doubt, fear, the shaking hands, and the smudging of tears, it is without a doubt for this to write about our names in each other, and flesh it is sovereign for the enough of the weak be right. Just until the memories become nightmares of the past, we run, rush, kiss, love, touch, have sex to the cut for the heel to scream, distracted all till we forgive it, until one day for the we can pick that wound. It wouldn't hurt any longer for the neither hurt nor be numb. Or life at the over, the sings a lullaby for the we don't doze, and we dream with wide-eyed open eyes, and nobody can find the chaos in the echoing voice. After the unresting and the flapping of the butterfly wings, and after all the time, and after all this time, for the heart like a child, stubborn, strong, vehement, and I can find a heart like a child. Let it sing and crave and never to rave, slow enough for the skeptical about the extremities to the dear hearts, and rare and mediocre to different. One time and another to let a heart beat. Let the heart beat differently for the this to be the poem of the song. A poem for the heart, a poem to start, a poem with never-ending stories, never to protect those unborn, for the what about that for that you could find was all the care for help, with the love for the once needed and spirit for the thought I did, for the once I knew how I felt, for the mind played the tricks on me. Main more became strange for find over time, but it just felt like a lie. I never knew what it felt like. For this know what it stare for your beautiful eyes. Now I realize it actually feels like. Quite accurately, you can pronounce mine. Tonight she to meet you with the off-white smile. Gravity yesterday for the floating alone. Would like it better if it were pulled to the gravity for the highest bright lights of the purest white. For the great for the flesh that we ascend to the higher place of existence. Wrapped in skin in the forms of bend. How many terror was shed enough for those who feared for what was embraced? Conclude our quest, this the red that flows with black that floods, and how hollow the mind must be for this deems our quest. Nothing more than a test, and this is a lot to prayer to those faced and bright and humbling, to a song for the praise of the one for the whose judgment burns that the fire. Bodies burn brighter than the embers of the air, but the rejoice of the quest is ended for the distant father for the well so long. Joining in the meeting is sometimes somewhere and someone something. Decipher the factor for deciding. Disgust, and I can feel your agony for the dry hair against the face of this disgust for the quiet soul. The soul that is in disgust and quiet enough of adrenaline you can find it reaching it rolls from each ledge to the footsteps of the brain, the panics of the body from the keeping under control to pull me up. Flying, the sun starts to set. Must hurry to reach the top of the world that seems to be on fire. Looking around me and I realized I was on top of the world, jumping right in front of here to there to then, and I could find for the steady last thing for ever to try to die for this jump over to letting go where everything fall into the possibilities fade away. This is when you're truly free. Man, listening to the adrenaline, look at my life for just what it was. It is what it was. It seems to be that you find the people rarely just sit still and watch just to be the fact about that on nature for this to be even. I think it's time to get up at the level of the playing field for the calling and the rips and pieces for the contracted deal. Conceal that I think it's time to get up and to look at the things with the fresh eyes and calling and please stop this, not nice. You must be crazy to manipulate you. You must God further for the planning the things in your head. The things you said. Make them out the things you say for the Father. Do you have the honor for the son of your child? For you made him to see we are wild. This is not okay for to make another for the Father. You can find things to say for this to make them further away. For this because you can find crazy, insane, sad things, no things. It is because you make me feel sad enough. The what's so good enough you can find happy. The deep people who tend to fade over time. You fitting me, man. Things are time to fade over time. For the older they are, for the more they seem to find. For the memories of the things that have long ago. For the stories of so many, for the different friends and foes that you can find. The lovers of the enemies and the people of the past and the ghosts and the hunting. The telling is never everlasting. I can find what's again and not to cry. There's something wrong with me when we find you shedding tears but not crying. And never to find anything on the ledge and never to being able to fall due to rope keeping me in place and you don't want to fall for the one that falls so bad. For the cut the rope for the please and having you mind. For the child that didn't die. Whole journey recommended for the unexpected for the one you can find as a child again for the standing alone. Darkness could be a cocoon form of security for they can't see me, they can't judge me. It could be a place to hide in the form of camouflage if they can't see me, they can't judge me. It could be a scary place of horrors that if they can't see, they can't judge. This is a safe haven for the person in hell for this to get lost in the darkness and keep your light on. Yesterday for the floating alone. Would like it better if it were pulled to me. Gravity for the highest bright lights, the purest white, for the grateful flesh that we ascend to the higher place of existence. Wrapped in skin, in the forms of men. How many terror was shed enough for those who feared for what was embraced? Conclude our quest, this the red that flows with the black, the floods, and how hollow the mind must be for this deems our quest. Nothing more than a test, and this is Salat, the prayer to those faced the bright and humbling, to a song for the praise of the one for the whose judgment burns that the fire. Bodies that burn brighter than the embers of the air, with the rejoicing the quest is ended for the distant father for the well so long. Joining in the meaning and sometimes somewhere and someone something. Decipher the factor for deciding. Disgust, and I can feel your agony for the dry hair against the face of this disgust for the quietest soul. Soul that is in disgust and quiet enough for the adrenaline you can find in reaching your goals and lose the lead to the footsteps of the brain, for the panics of the body, for the keeping under control to pull me up. Flying, the sun.
Don't mimic what was seen. Eyes to learn. Convenience is just killing me instead of being productive. Trying not to drown in the R&B, but it doesn't help the acronyms that the life is offering. It's serenading in the head for the chaos in the empty nightclub lazy. Crack the window, cracked voices smile for the breeze that hisses the heat on the body for the battle rages on. And I'm isolated for enough. Myself a riot like a COVID victim. You could be the raging persistent. The conscious crackles like a desperate movie in the villain from however to being me being stubborn with enough of the turn up the volume, but until my conscience is but a whisper for the back of my hand. Sometimes I like to take a look at my life and just watch because it's the time for me. For people rarely sit and watch. I want to be the type of person who waits and listens. Like a vagabond, singing in my own rock. This is dampened road, it's my own cotton. Weather greets me, my spouse. So this is the end of the day for the stars illuminate my place I call a house. So this is the vagabond singing my own. The elixir, my disappointments with life, and keep strolling and fiddling with my fife. And I find a vagabond for the singing of my own. Searching for any innocence of the whiskey of a tide, for this to be the guilt of the leaf flow in the wind until it takes me right where I've sinned, and I find a vagabond singing to my own. No companions besides me, tried enough for this skin of nature, and I find my mind sweetness of the spring wherever I can find, for the vagabond singing to my own. Struggling with the trophy, with the right where I was shining, you could resolutely find the tribe for the piercing stones of the wrong trails of the sun, of the long and peaceful silence and the thunderous of wells. Same scenery, timely different, and I'll see mountains, river, the oceans with applaud for the lifts. Or lives over the gloomy nights and those happy days to try to. Here I am, there if I carry my feet for wherever the strange lands of the kin I meet, for the familiar place of the distant was space. Keep strolling at my consistent pace of this fine self-solid, looking like a glass self. Wish I could decipher my little Pandora box. Available to the ones outside it for the direction I can't be, for the angles I can't see into the Pandora. I find what's to believe. Everything they tell me from what they've seen inside that box. You find acronyms for the R and rhythm and blues. Zero gravity for the star pools carelessly. On flight. R&B acronyms, rhythm and blues.